Drummer Boy by Lauren Long. In a wintry little town, not far from here, a package was left on a doorstep of no particular home with a note that read, "Open now and enjoy the Christmas spirit early." That is what the child did. He opened the package and he found a little drummer boy standing there playing his drum. "Just what I wanted," said the child, and the drummer's boy heart felt warm. There's the boy. He's playing with the drummer boy. Look on the couch, he's got a dog. I think the dog gets to be in the story too. I read ahead. The child loved the drummer boy and played with him all the time. As often as he could, when it was quiet and still, the little drummer boy played his drum for the child. Pa-pa-dum, pa-pa-bum, pa-pa-bum, bum, bum. See, there's the dog right there, and he's watching. The drummer boy as well. And the boy is watching too. I wonder if it's got a little key that you wind up. One morning, the drummer boy was left standing on the nightstand, and the dog's tail brushed him off. Down he tumbled right into a trash can. It was not a good place for a drummer boy. He didn't know up from down. And then the mother emptied the can into an even bigger can and put him outside on the curb. Before he knew it, two strong men emptied him into a big, loud truck, and away it went. The truck was cramped and bounced him around, but the drummer boy did not say a word. He just squeezed his sticks together, and he held his drum close. And there it is, the dog's tail is accidentally sweeping him into the can. He's falling and falling, and then off he goes in the garbage truck. Uh-oh. Probably going to take him to a place where there's a whole bunch more trash. Yes, there is. And look what else. There's a great big rat. And a good thing, because with a roar, the truck emptied itself into the city dump. The little drummer boy found himself standing on a mountain of trash. A grumpy old rat, foraging for scraps, looked right at him and snarled. Despite the rude greeting in that cold place, he gripped his sticks tightly and he started to play his drum. The rat's snarl softened and he slipped quietly away. There's the drummer boy playing away. Enough to where the rat didn't bother him. But look above, all the trash. See what's flying up there? Looks like a bird of prey. That's another way of saying something like a hawk. But it's an owl. It's swooping down. And you see what he's done. He's grabbed the drummer boy. Let's read. But the little drummer boy was only there for a song. That's another way of saying for a short time. It seemed, because when an owl swooped down and snatched him up and flew off with him out into the countryside to the top of an old tree and a waiting owl nest. There, hungry, screeching owls stretched their beaks at him. They're hungry. They think he's food. Here they are. They're looking at him. Do you think they're going to try to eat him? Let's read. So the drummer boy started to play his drum. And the owls drifted off to sleep. But before the drummer boy knew it, the mother owl returned and plucked him up and flew him to the city, leaving him there in the peak of a bell tower. Now, a bell tower might be someplace like a church or whatever. You can see it way up there. There's the bell tower. And it's got a clock. And all the little sleepy houses with smoke coming out the chimneys. And the very, very top, you'll see him right up there. Night fell, and the drummer boy was scared and alone. But as he looked out over the snowy city, it seemed to him that it was lonely too. And so he stood tall and he played his drum. da-da-dum, da-da-dum. The city listened and was more at peace. So he's even making the city happy. And there he is on top of there. He's starting to look like he's going to fall off. I think it's because the wind is blowing. The next morning, yes, a big wind blew in and the drummer boy was blown off the bell tower. Oh no, he gripped his sticks tightly and he held his drum close as he fell down, 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 and he landed in a thorny, snowy thorn bush. A thorn stabbed him. He couldn't move. And as he lay there, he watched day turn into night again. So he was there for a while. Here he is falling. And there he is, laying on the ground. And see the thorn right there? It's gone through his body. Oh. Let's read. Ignoring the sharp thorn, he played his drum for them. Bum ba dum ba dum ba ba bum. Ooh, I missed a page. I'll try this part again. I got this little bit here. It says, all he could see was the sky, which slowly filled with stars. Ignoring the sharp thorn, he played his drum for them. Bum ba dum ba dum ba bum. The stars twinkled to the beat of his drum. There's a busy looking street. And dog has, oh, she's got the little soldier right there in his mouth. All these people are busy shopping. Remember, it's taking place right before Christmas. People are probably shopping for Christmas presents for friends and children. Did he fall asleep? For suddenly a barking dog with large teeth was chomping at his neck. The dog plucked him free from the prickly thorn bush and carried him off. Now it's a different dog. I showed you the picture. After roaming the city, he finally dropped the drummer boy at the foot of a big snowman. So somebody made a snowman out there. Yes, they show a picture of the snowman. There he is. Let's read. He was left alone again in the cold night. As a blustery wind whipped whoosh by, the drummer boy looked up into the frozen charcoal eyes of the snowman, and he played his drum for him. Dum da dum da dum da dum da dum. It gave the snowman a cozy chill. I think snowmen like to be cold. You know, they don't get too warm; they might melt. Oh, not yet. Somebody's coming along. Look what it is. A raccoon. That night, a raccoon carried the little drummer boy off to a place where there were statues and stones standing across a field covered by snow. See right there? Do you know what that place is? Ooh. The drummer boy didn't know where he was. He thought about the child and the warm home that he knew. He thought about the garbage dump and the rats and the owls and the city and the stars and the snowman with the charcoal eyes. The little drummer boy felt lost. The statues and stones surrounded him almost as if they were waiting. So with a heavy heart, he played his drum for them. Bum ba dum ba dum ba bum ba bum ba bum. And the snow fell. Here he is, playing his drum. Surrounded by those stones. In the morning, he was awakened by a familiar voice. "Merry Christmas, Grandpa!" The child did not see the drummer boy at all, for he was almost covered with the newly fallen snow, remember? But as the boy placed the flowers at his grandpa's grave, he saw something sticking up from the snow nearby. "Mama, Papa, look!" the child said with amazement. "My little drummer boy out here in the snow!" And he took the drummer boy home. You can barely see the drummer boy, just his head is barely poking above the snow. But the boy found him. And look, they're back inside. There's a nice warm fire. Drummer Boy doesn't have to be cold anymore. And their Christmas tree is there. After Christmas dinner, when the candles were lit, all of the family gathered to sing songs. The child sat quietly with the drummer boy in the glow of the moment, and he was suddenly filled with the Christmas spirit. He rose and he carried the little drummer boy over to the mantel where the stable stood and placed him gently at the feet of the baby. So there they are, the baby Jesus' cradle. Look what the drummer boy's going to do. He's going to play his drum for the baby Jesus. The drummer boy looked at the baby before him. He took a deep breath. Boom, da-da-tum, da-da-tum, da-da-tum. And he played his drum as never before. And the little drummer boy's heart felt warm. I think that's it. Yes, just shows a tree out in the cold snow. And there we are. The Drummer Boy by Loren Long.